Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel for the Aston Villa January window transfer update. As always, if you could like, subscribe and comment your thoughts on everything discussed within the video. And there is so much to discuss regarding Aston Villa currently. A lot's going on in January, a lot of rumours, a lot of stories, a lot of sources reporting stuff regarding Aston Villa and their potential movements. And let's get into it. The first one we'll start off with Diego Carlos has now left Aston Villa. His move to Fenerbahce has been confirmed. Undisclosed fee, but reports were around 10 million euros, but that isn't disclosed as such. And yeah, thinking on Diego Carlos's time at Aston Villa, let's not forget he did help Villa in initially qualifying for the Conference League and then the year after in their qualification for the Champions League. He had some big moments within that, performances against Man City, Arsenal on numerous occasions, and also big Champions League game against Bayern Munich. Cannot go unnoticed. He was colossal within those games as well. But with Diego Carlos, there was times where lapses of concentration in games which wasn't of such a high stature affected his performance, and it seems as if he kind of switched off within those. But he did apply himself. There was games last season where he had a great partnership with Pau Torres, obviously with Tyrone Mings being out injured and Ezri Konsa playing at right back. And he put in some brilliant performances within that. So all the best to Diego Carlos, now 31, joined us under Steven Gerrard at 29 from Sevilla for £26 million. Obviously had that horrendous Achilles injury which kept him out for most of the season. By the time he came back from injury, Unai Emery was in charge. He was part of that 22-23 season towards the end. He played a few games within that, but really his season really started back in 2023-24 season. And yeah, he scored his first goal for Villa in the Conference League against AZ Alkmaar, and he had some good performances within that, as well as the performances he had this season within the Champions League as well. So all the best to Diego Carlos. I'm sure he'll be quite a coup for Fenerbahce and Jose Mourinho. Moving on from that, now then, with the injury to Pau Torres, Ezri Konsa and Tyrone Mings are the only two real available centre-backs currently. Lamar Bogard, we've seen from his performance against Arsenal, he's not a centre-back. He's not really a right-back either. He's a DM. That's his natural position, so I can't envisage him playing centre-back going forward. We have Swinkles, who's a youngster coming through. He's played some League Cup games this season, but is he ready to step up? So I think within that, Villa are looking for a centre-back, and that is their priority this window now. There's been talks about Loic Bade from Sevilla, the 24-year-old Frenchman. It seems as if talks have been going regarding him for a number of weeks now within this January window, and there's still no agreement in place now. Tom Colomas, who's a respected journalist, stated that Villa are still in talks, and the talks are actually quite close now. Seems as if there was a disparity between the fee. Villa offered around 25 million euros and Sevilla are looking for 30 million euros. Victor Orte, if you remember him and his time at Leeds, a difficult customer to deal with, but you'd think with Monchi's experience, having been the sporting director at Sevilla and before coming to Villa, he'll know the ins and outs of Loic Bade because he signed him initially on loan and then permanently as well, so he should know the ins and outs regarding his contract situation and the terms regarding that. So I think this one, if it really needs to get done, will get done. If Villa really, really do want him, I think that will get done. And the discrepancy between the fees will be ironed out. Interesting signing. Obviously, he's represented Sevilla for a number of years, won the Europa League with Sevilla as well. But it's a big test coming to the Premier League, and at his age now, he'll be looking to progress. He'll be looking to become part of the French squad on a permanent basis. Represented them in the summer at the Olympics and was very good within that, and has had a few caps for the national side, but he'll want to become a permanent member of that. I think that is in line with Boubacar Kamara, who will be looking to get back into the French national side after his injury, and obviously Luca Digne. He's starting for France. He did so within the UEFA Nations League, so it would be good for Villa to have a few players representing the French national team. So yeah, we'll see if that one does develop. I imagine it will do over the next coming days as the January window draws to a close, as a week and a day now. So I imagine that the Loic Bade talks and the reporting regarding that will intensify over the next coming days, and we'll see if Villa do get him in. If not, I think there'll be other centre-backs options that Villa will be looking into. I know Penza from Club Brugge, who had a fantastic game against us and is having a great season. The 20-year-old Colombian. He's a really good defender, and Villa have eyed him as a potential incoming as well. Would be good because he's linked up with John Duran as a fellow Colombian. Would be good for Duran as well. So yeah, we'll see how the centre back options develop, and if there is any further ones. If Loic Bade is not the one attainable, but it seems that he's the priority target. He's the number one target, and Villa are looking to get him in this window. Moving on from that, interesting story. Enzo Barrenechea, he hasn't trained with Sevilla today. And it seems as if there is a chance that he could be returning to the squad. Now, Villa have a number of midfield injuries currently. John McGinn's out, Ross Barkley's out, Amadou Onana's out as well. So is there an opportunity for Enzo Barrenechea to return to the Villa team and the Villa squad? Hasn't represented Villa yet. Was part of that deal for Douglas Luiz with Juve, which also included Samuel Ilin Jr. And Samuel Ilin Jr. may have played a big part for Villa scoring for Bologna in midweek against Borussia Dortmund, which could help Villa finish in the top 8 of the Champions League. But Enzo Barrenechea has been on loan at Valencia. He's 23 years of age now. Got some first team football, which I think was really good for him in his development. He played 15 games so far this season. Valencia, who are struggling within La Liga currently, but he's adapted and he's played some good stuff. He scored 1 goal and got 1 assist as well. Is he ready for the step up to the Premier League? That's the massive question. Can he step into a Villa side who are trying to chase European positions, who are fighting in the Champions League, fighting domestically, and also fighting in the FA Cup as well? Could he handle that pressure and stepping into that level? It's a big ask for sure, because he's playing at Valencia, who albeit are under pressure to stay in the division, but it's a different pressure and a different level he's playing at. So Enzo Barrenechea returning, it would be really interesting to see if it does. And if he does, then that shows Emery and the team have a lot of faith and trust in him, and they've liked what they've seen at Valencia. If they feel like he's at the level, and with this injury crisis as such happening at the moment, there might be time and availability and minutes for Barrenechea, and yeah, we'll see. Or is the recall potentially for Villa identifying that they don't want him to no longer be at Valencia and move him to another club? There may be another club of interest who want to sign him on loan, or even still a permanent basis. So let's see how that one develops with Enzo Barrenechea. But I thought that was interesting that there is reports that he could potentially be returning to Villa from his loan at Valencia. Moving on, finally, didn't get to cover it, but Andres Garcia has signed for Villa for £6 million for Levante. 21-year-old fullback who's had a great season so far in La Liga 2. What he offers us is in attacking areas. He's both-footed. He can lose his left and right foot. Has an eye for a spectacular goal. He scored a number of spectacular goals for Levante so far, and I think he'll be really good in attacking positions if he is given that opportunity. It seems as if he is going to be kept with the squad, as opposed to Kosta Nedeljkovic when we signed him last January from Sparta Prague. He went back on loan there, from Belgrade, sorry. He went back to Belgrade and continued for the remainder of the season before coming to Villa in the summer. Andres is staying with Villa, so Villa have plans for him. He'll be part of the first team squad, so he'll be pushing Matty Cash for that right back position. I think the difference in the sense that I think Garcia will offer more going forward, but his defensive actions, we'll see to what level he's at, and if he can compete with Matty Cash in that regard as well. But interesting signing, the type of signing I like to see. Sign someone young, talented, and let Unai Emery develop him and mould him into the player he wants him to become for an outlay which is relatively cheap in today's market. There was calls and interest from La Liga clubs in signing him as well. Also Sporting Lisbon, we're looking at him, and we know Sporting Lisbon can identify and pick up players. Just look at Gyökeres, who they signed for Coventry, and his valuation now. Pedro Porro being another one, and look at the standing and level he's got to. So yeah, let's see how it goes with Garcia. Looking forward to him, looking forward to seeing him play, and I do see him being part of the first team squad. That's it for this video. Thank you all for joining, and as always, if you could like, subscribe and comment your thoughts on what was discussed within the video, and I'll see you on the next video. Up the Villa.